we go. Welcome to episode 26 of Bingo is Life. Yeah! Live and in person from Ruby's Arcade in scenic downtown Harrisonburg.
All right.
Outside the scenic and historic Wine Brothers building.
Yes.
Joined by the fabulous scenic and historic Howdy Show brothers, Chris and Mike.
Both scenic and historic. Are you scenic or am I scenic?
I'm Jay Zaire, the third best X-Men stand-up comedian and ventriloquist in the Shenandoah Valley. We have Mom Shackles.
I used to work as a scenic.
Yay!
And over in the Silent Dave chair, three really good-looking people.
Hey! We had a guy named Silent Dave that sat over there once, so there you go. That's you now.
And saving the best for last, we are joined by a very special guest all the way from the cool side of town, on the north end of Harrisonburg, Ron Copeland. Let's say
Welcome.
One of the two owners of the new Little Grill. The new rebooted Little Grill operation.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about bingo or not? Did you guys? Anybody win the $100?
No one won the $100. Bingo was great
It
this
really
evening.
was good, yeah.
The people were right. Let's see. They were right. They came and they said these people were here.
My favorite comment was from Emmett. He said, "You guys are relentless. The show is relentless."
That's good, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to take that.
They both came back to the table after the bingo, and they both sat down and made old man sitting down sounds. Both of them went, whoosh.
Yeah.
It's true. We have to do that for a
Was
little
Bingo
while.
Baby there?
You know what?
No.
Bingo Baby was not there.
Bingo
No.
Baby wasn't there,
No
but I think we had a lot of regulars here.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
it
was
was good.
cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
it was nice.
So Ron has the Dan Easley mic because Dan is still wherever he
This
is.
is his last
I
week.
think,
though.
yeah,
He'll be back
recording
next
with
week.
Peter
We
Gabriel
miss you,
in
Dan,
France.
and next week, hopefully,
Yeah, he said he'd be
he'll
back
be
next
back.
week.
Very good. Very
Say
good.
something for the massive audience, Mr. Copeland.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, wow, there he is.
We had a list of 5 questions, and I don't think anybody brought it.
No, I got him.
Oh, we've got him, yeah.
I got him. We're good.
Very professional, Jay. Very
This is a professional.
Well,
Start with that
Podcast.
last one about velvet mylar or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, the Velvet Dylan
the
myth.
Velvet Dylan. We had a whole episode
we
about
did
the
have a
Velvet
Can we
Dylan.
first introduce Ron? No, I
Well,
think
yeah.
it would-
Yes, why did you do
You
it?
do it. Go for it.
No.
I already
Here's
introduced
Ron
him.
Copeland.
Hey!
I
Tell us
already
about Ron,
introduced
Ron.
Copeland.
That's beautiful.
The man who needs no introduction.
Yeah, no introduction.
I'll introduce Ron.
Okay,
since
very good. Yes,
you are somehow
both did it.
he's the word guy.
What?
Didn't you go to college
I
for
think-
words?
It's been. I've heard things.
That's what I thought.
Who doesn't
So,
go to college for words?
I got to
To
chat
know
GPT.
Ron is to love him and to be struck wordless.
Wordless.
His family's not saying much.
They're over there looking at their phones.
Good name.
Oh God, we got to hear about the grill again. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Copeland was one of my early day bosses. He's also been one of a mover and a shaker in Harrisonburg. He just recently purchased the Little Grill again from the Collective.
Yes.
And I've been there multiple times, and he's doing a absolutely killer job. So that is who we have with us today.
Yay!
Mr.
Very
Ron
good.
Copeland.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
all right. Cool. Hi, buddy. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I'm so thankful you're coming here. It's cool. So we have been talking. We all worked at the grill. Brittany did not.
I did not.
Oh,
I worked as a scenic.
She was like 3 years old when we worked at the Little Grill.
You were old like in 1989.
oh no, he's never been
born
young.
old.
He's never been
1847.
You were like the older guy.
It was like
But that was 1991.
it was like when the FBI agents came in there looking for trying to
No, that wasn't real. Jay. It didn't actually happen.
Chris was there. I remember.
We literally spent a night walking around. It was after we closed, and we were like, I could hear the beeping. I know there's a beep. And we crawled around the ceiling. Well, we didn't crawl around the ceiling, but we were up on the booze listening for this beeping. And I have no I
I
think it
don't
was
think
a
they
watch.
make groovy gravy with those ingredients anymore. Do they?
I don't know. It was the early 2000s. things were strange.
Okay, keep going.
All right.
Let's keep rolling.
All
here.
right, so here we go, folks. We have a bunch of questions. I'm going to just pick a couple random ones,
Yeah,
though.
go for it.
The first big one on my mind, and I think it is. It can be long or short, but why? Why did you buy it again? I'm so I like you. Yeah. I know. Why?
He didn't listen to Jake's Heritage
Oh,
Place.
I know. I'm just so. I mean, honestly, shocked. I was shocked at first when I heard that you were buying it. I mean, now that it's been a little bit of time, the grill's green. It's you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's definitely changed, but the food is still immaculate,
Solid.
and so it has a lot of things that are still the same. What was the why? I don't know. It's cool. I'm so thankful you did. The premise is thank God you bought that thing.
Yeah, right,
But I don't know why.
Especially when you and Dave Scott and everyone else said, "Don't do it." You didn't say that exactly. I said, "Chris, let's buy the grill together. It'll be cool." And you were like, "Get away from me! I've got a cool job with benefits."
Yeah, I landed. Thank you.
Why did I buy the grill? I tried not to. I have an irrational attachment to the little grill, and I always have, ever since I first went there. I don't know. When it closed, I literally started kind of panicking or something. I woke up at 3 a.m. and made spreadsheets and went down to the owners and tried to make them look at my spreadsheets and tried to help them.
Look at my spreadsheets.
I was like, it's just math. I swear it's just math.
7.
It all keeps coming back to the same number.
You know, I met with the young people that were working there and told them about how we started the collective and tried to get them amped. I didn't really want to do it for them. I didn't want to lead it, but
Right.
I was willing to be a consultant. And then one of our friends was going to buy it, somebody we all worked with in the past. And I was like, great, I'll be the bookkeeper, I'll be the consultant, that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
But it kept falling through, and then it was just started getting unclear what was going to happen. Like, it started getting murky.
Right.
And the restaurant was sitting there empty, and I was driving by it one day, and I just thought, if I drive by this thing and it's a parking lot, I'm going to be pissed off at myself because, my kids are grown. I was working half-time. I had the money to do it. It was cheap. It was a good deal.
Right.
And it was like, I'm uniquely positioned to do this,
Yeah.
I know the grill culture. I can reassemble, the things that were important to me, and I think we can have good food that comes out fast with good service.
Well, the customer base just
Yeah, you have this
right.
huge customer base.
They
1,000 people, liking
it was
the
shocking to
Facebook
walk
thing.
in that door, and they're like, it was awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think there's so many reasons. Certainly my heartstrings, and there's this thing I painted on the wall to Melanie, my wife, when we were dating, that says "I love you." That's never been painted over, and it's still there. And all my children work there, and it's a big part of my life is there, and I liked it. I always liked it. I always loved working at the grill, even after I sold it. As hard as it was, I was never like, oh, thank God I'm out of that place. I just always kind of loved it. And it's been fun. It's been difficult, certainly, but it has been fun. And I remember one thing Mel and I had said, actually, that was a key moment where we thought about you people particularly, and a bunch of other people, like Sparky and Kim Hathaway, and,
Sure.
name the names, Dave Scott, whatever. And it was like we met all these wonderful people in one place, and they really are wonderful people. They're all very interesting, very cool, and changed our lives. And we're like, if we did that again, that would happen again. And it's true already. Even these young kids we hired are already, special part of our lives. And I don't know. There's just there's a lot of different reasons, but those are some.
Now, just for a bit of history, so that people know, this is not the first time you've owned the grill. The first time you bought it was in
1992.
92.
Yep.
And you bought it from
Tom Kilday.
Tom Kilday. And now what's different? Now you've bought it again.
Well, and you also
30
deserve,
years have passed.
Yeah, right.
You deserve a lot of credit for starting that, or spearheading the start of the collective that ran for all those years.
100%.
And that was
Yeah, right.
Even though it did finally end, it lasted for a long time. It was
Well, and
great.
Chris Howdyshell in particular, was the one that I went to and said, hey, what do you think about this? And Jonathan and Chris and Kendall. Yeah, it was a few of us that kind of put in a lot of work on that. Yeah, and it was cool. I mean, it lasted almost, you run into these people who are like, I knew that wouldn't work. And you're like, dude, it lasted 20 years.
Yeah,
Name me someone else who's owned a restaurant for 20 years. Name one other person,
Let's talk a little bit about Coochie Guidos and how long that restaurant just lasted. I mean, there's so many.
14 carats.
Yeah, 14 carats. They just don't.
But even good restaurants, you know what I mean?
Right.
Driver owned the
Yeah.
grill for 5 years, and it was like the golden age, and I owned the grill for 11 years, and that seemed like a really long time. And then the Collective was there almost 20 years,
Yeah.
I mean, how long was Spanky's? Spanky's probably wasn't there that long when you think about it.
Spanky's was good though. It had a moment,
But it's
Spanky's
gone.
had-
It's gone.
But it's gone. You're right.
It
You're
is
right.
interesting that the things that kept come and gone while the grill has continued on. I remember driving by Luigi's, being packed out, and driving by the grill on the same night and no customers and
Yeah.
being like, oh my God, we're doomed. I don't need to name all the restaurants, but so many restaurants have come and gone and been cooler and better than the grill, and then the grill just kind of keeps doing its
Yeah.
thing somehow.
I can remember. Oh, go ahead.
You got that loyal breakfast crowd. Everybody likes the breakfast.
But even when it's not good, people, somehow it kind of continues, like it just limps along.
Yeah, no, so I've eaten there, I think 4 times since, and every time I've just been like, man, the food is good. Seriously, the food is fantastic.
Well, we
I've
got
just-
Billy Bleeker,
Yeah.
who was a chef at Clementine. I mean, and worked, in here. And,
Our sponsor, Clementine and
That's
Ruby's
right.
Cafe,
Yeah, that's
Ruby's
right.
Arcade.
and,
Ruby's
and,
Arcade.
and for Billy, it was about love too. He loved the grill, and I said, hey, you want to save the grill? He had a good job and didn't need to,
Right.
do that to himself. But I just said, hey, you want to save the grill? And speed talked for an hour, and then he was like, let's do it. But I'm saying that
Wear him
because
down.
if it wasn't for him. It would, I'm not that kind of cook. I mean, he kind of does that extra thing, and people are like, "Damn, this is good."
Well, that leads me to the next question. So, what's your favorite dish at the grill? What are you eating these days?
I knew it was a dumb question.
I know what that's Brittany's question. It just was the lead in. I'm just reading them off, folks.
Well, really, we don't serve it. I used to eat a Greek pasta every day.
How come you
And,
don't?
we had it on the lunch menu, and
No one
we
got it.
just, employees got it.
Yeah.
People want breakfast, man. People were getting up and walking out of that place because we weren't serving breakfast
Yeah.
after 11. And people come for lunch, but they don't get up and walk out when you don't have it. So we had to scale back the lunch because we want to do breakfast all day, and it's just impossible to do two
I had
big menus.
Mexi night tonight. Every Tuesday night, Mexi night, fantastic. I mean, that's just exact. Well, actually, I would even say better. The enchilada sauce, whatever you guys are doing with that it's good. Could have used a little more. I could have used a little more salt in the masa dough. That was what I was going to say that. But God, it was so good. Everything was so good. I got a small side of sour cream, and I remember a conversation that we had at one time because it's an all-you-can-eat plate of food. Are you allowed to order full sides of sour cream? Because it's all. I don't know.
It's one of the ingredients.
It's one of the ingredients.
Ron walks a full cow into the restaurant. He's like, "Oh, it's fresh. Here you go."
There's no room for the cow. No, but it was fantastic. Mexi night's so good. I'm really thankful you brought back Mexi night. That's right. Personal favorite.
What's your favorite musician that played it? Or can you name some musicians?
Besides you? and
Besides
Chris?
me.
Favorite musicians? Tom Kilday's always been one of my favorite musicians that played at the grill for sure. Tony Furtado.
That's the one I was. Tony Furtado was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
He brought a big band once.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah.
I couldn't believe
They
that-
were great. The drummer had played with Jimi Hendrix randomly. Yeah, that was a great band.
The Larry Keel experience
Keel
was
experience.
really. I have a tremendously interesting memory of the first time they ever played there.
I think the most fun I had a lot of times was Regular Sauce. I mean, Regular Sauce
yeah.
playing Franklin's Tower, that was some of my favorite. Oh, well, Robbie, of course. I mean, the Hackensack Boys,
God, yeah.
without a doubt, was the greatest thing that ever happened there in my tenure. I mean, they threw down.
Are you planning to keep that going? Or are you thinking some more
Yeah,
music?
I am. Yeah, in fact, I kind of want to do sort of a nostalgia tour, like see if Larry would come up and play. And Mel and I just saw Tony Furtado in Roanoke, and he said he would come play. And
Oh, cool.
Critter is like, I'll do anything, I'll come play. And and I know that
That's so sweet.
Jake and Jeff would come play. So I sort of like nostalgia big shows that are a little high dollar. But then there's I'm renting our old house to these guys that are young guys that are in bands, and they have a lot of talent. And I just talked with them tonight about Open Stage, bring it back Sunday night Open Stage. Took your recommendation, Chris, and got the young folks to think about doing that.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
We have
Young people, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to do like
They know
the
people.
like, hey, welcome back tour with those kind of big names. But then, yeah, I mean, ultimately we want to do dinner and be open at night. And really, I want to do plays. I mean, that's sort of that's the reason about the grill, because I want to do plays.
Yeah.
Going back to question one.
waiting for Godot.
Waiting for Godot. I've seen that.
Tell us about the time you all got the police came. You were rehearsing outside for Waiting for Godot.
Well, it was in the OCP lawn, actually, before it was OCP. And we had a rope around a man's neck, and we're standing next to a tree because it's part of the play. And the police came up and were like, "What are you doing?" We're doing a play.
Theater!
They had gloves on, and they were worried about us.
That's awesome.
I mean, when you really stop and think about being on the north end with a rope around a guy's neck next to a tree, that is just not a good situation. And we were not remote. I mean, we were just literally rehearsing.
Yeah. God, that was the one thing that I was when I left the grill today, and I can't stand the smell of the North End, though. It's still just as I'm like, oh, God, there it is. It just wafts over you sometimes.
I remember when these kids from Richmond came one time to volunteer at OCP, and I was so used to it. I lived there and worked there for a couple decades,
Sure.
and these kids came and they had like handkerchiefs over their mouth, and they were just like trying to listen to what we were saying, but they were like, oh God, I couldn't even smell it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny, but you do get used to it. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
But I haven't been down there in a bit.
It's a strange chemical plant operation down there. That for those of you in Latvia who
Right, the Latvians need to know.
No, I think
It's called chicken feed.
yeah,
feed.
but I think they're.
I have this ongoing argument with people. It's not dog food.
Not
It just
dog
smells
food.
like dog
It
food.
smells like dog food.
shockingly
College
smells
kids
like,
all think it's dog food.
No.
They say it with confidence. It's a dog food plant.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I did in
Big
college.
pile of dog food.
It's a
over
dog
there.
food plant.
Yeah. Let's see.
Dog
did
food
you-
and chicken feed are probably pretty close.
Yeah.
It's all just dead animals being recycled.
Like beaks and stuff.
Yeah. If you just keep driving another 15 miles in the Broadway direction, there is the plant where you take your dead animals and
Valley Proteins.
Valley Proteins, and
Yeah, that's
it
right.
is unbelievable when you get out there. I mean, they have multiple areas where where there's as they burn the bodies.
Remember that time that we
my
had the restaurant guy come on the radio, and he was like telling us all about his delicious dishes, and I said radio and I meant podcast, sorry. And then we started talking about the most disgusting things we could think of.
Yeah, that was great.
These are not related.
Oh yeah, no,
Valley Proteins used to come to the grill, and people used to pick up the grease, and someone used to always tell me they made lipstick out of that stuff. Is that
I went out there with Clay, and we had a big because he used to do the biodiesel thing with all the oil. So he's
Oh,
like,
wow.
it's the one place I can take this oil to and dump it. The
And they made lipstick?
And maybe. And we were out there dumping the oil, and we smelled like that place.
Yeah,
we had to
right.
get all our clothes. We were like, "Ah!" We had to take our clothes. We'd just go take showers, take all our clothes and put them in the wash machine. It was so.
Right.
But I mean, when you're out there, people are just like, hey, I'm working here.
Yeah, right.
No big deal. Oh, Valley Protein.
That reminds me, I was talking with the young guys tonight about how the grill was filled with smoke all the time.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we would go home and our
absolutely.
clothes had to be.
Oh yeah.
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 No, that's
And
real.
the fan was in the back in the kitchen, so if you were in the kitchen,
right.
it was just, everybody would just sit
Like
there
smoking a
chain
pack
smoking.
of cigarettes.
I think it's funny that you tried to have a smoking section. I mean, a smoking section at the grill. There's like 4 tables, and
It's like
just
100
Mildred.
square feet.
This side of the closet.
Well, remember that was the problem with the high school kids. No offense, that would come in and just smoke cigarettes and get
taking
one
it,
cup
it's
of
fine.
coffee.
Like, I think I can see the Velvet Dylan painting over there.
Oh, that's right. Questions about the velvet
Well, let me go back to Jay just for a second, because I remember Jay just being like, "We've got to get these high school kids out of here. We have have to figure it out. And it was Chris Howdy show of all people. I have a right to smoke cigarettes at the grill.
Well, I mean, the beautiful thing was I was talking to someone this evening who said it was like you had Broadway High School, TA, Spotswood High, and then Harrisonburg. It was just a place where high school kids met. I mean, we literally met there because we had nowhere else to go.
And no money.
And you could spend, it's like $2 for a grilled cheese.
Well, and your parents would let you come. It wasn't like a bar. You know?
Exactly.
So what was really going on in the Whitmer's parking lot?
Whitmer's parking lot really had some exciting
Now, hold on. Let's not talk about this too much.
Conversation.
I got to tell you, though, in the 90s, those early 90s, there was a piano in the corner that I can remember really well. I remember just these. Yes, I remember it being completely smoke filled, but God, I remember just the vibe of you felt like you were entering the counterculture. I mean, I felt like I was. From Briar Branch. I mean, seriously, from Briar Branch.
From one counterculture to the other counterculture.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I went
But
from
you don't
church.
know the counterculture that you're in.
I went from church to this place where there's tinfoil on the walls, and these
Public
these,
Enemy posters.
Yeah, it was so rad. It was just so cool and dark. Because the green back
dark
then
green
was
walls,
a dark green, and those memories are some of my favorite. I mean, oh man, that was great.
They
And
were some wild times.
random people I met through there that don't exist anymore. But
The people don't exist.
Yeah,
Jay's right here.
No.
Right here, buddy.
No. Oh man,
Who was the guy? Somebody was telling me that they like to go to the little grill really stoned because they didn't have to worry about there was going to be a waiter there who was more paranoid than they were. I forget who that guy was.
You.
Oh man, like early days though. There was a guy. I'm John
Anders.
Yes, and he was totally he was the Grateful Dead guy.
I think he's like
so good. It was so sweet though.
He's the lieutenant governor of Tennessee right now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man,
I remember when Jerry Garcia died, Terry Turtle called me at the grill and told me that, and I looked across the kitchen and saw John Anders smiling and having fun, and I had to go tell him that Jerry Garcia died. They crushed him.
We closed the restaurant.
We did.
Yeah.
Only because I didn't want to do Indian night. That was the real reason. But I thought, this sounds cool. We'll close the grill because Jerry Garcia died. I'm
gonna
not
have to
super
confess.
clear on who that is.
I remember saying, we ought to close the restaurant, and I was just kidding, and everybody was, I gotta close the restaurant.
I know that it was a Wednesday because I didn't want to do Indian. I was just like, woo.
I remember thinking, well, if Bob Dylan passes away, I'll close. We should close the collective, and then he never died.
You never know. He's not planning on it either.
I've told people I have had jobs in between, and I always tell my boss, if Bob Dylan dies, I'm not working that day. I just want you to know ahead of time. So I will close the grill. If Bob Dylan. You just kind of have to.
What other questions do you have on your list there?
Well, there was the velvet.
the Velvet Dylan.
Yeah, what happened to the Velvet Dylan?
Let's talk about something more interesting.
Okay.
Do you want the true
No
story?
comment.
Do you want the true story?
I kind of do. Yeah.
All right, here's the true story. Velvet Dylan. So the collective, blah, blah, blah. They took they took some paintings that I liked and put them in the attic in the office area there. And so I still had a key at that point because it let me go do. I supposedly had commissary for life at one point. Anyway, I still had a key, and so I went in there at night and took the Bob Dylan painting to my house because I was like, if you guys are gonna put it up in the attic,
Sure.
and so I took it to my house and let it slep around this extra room, and then one day I was doing something and I ripped it.
Oh.
And it was so fragile. I mean, it was like paper, but it was still intact. And I definitely it fell on something and ripped. And I was like, I'm going to save the Dylan. And then I ruined it.
Is there any hope of restoration?
Oh, no. It's a pile of dust. No, it doesn't exist. I mean, it doesn't. It finally just fell apart. But
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed. I just couldn't. I mean, what could I do? It was like I had no right to take it, and then I ruined it. And then I didn't tell anyone for 10 years. And then I've told a couple people, and now I'm going public with it.
Yeah, wow.
Do you have any good photos of it that it could potentially be reproduced?
Well, there are some.
Yeah.
And Jay's brother is
You
working
missed-
on
you
it
missed
as
that?
we speak.
Yeah, he's unfortunately from the Same covert, narcissistic, procrastinating Mennonite Amish church as me.
Very good.
But he's done extensive research on this. He actually found the article. We talked about that in a previous episode. Somebody, where's our historian? It's from the picture was from a 1980s
right down here.
interview magazine.
Oh, okay.
He found the actual picture.
The photograph.
The photograph that it was based off of.
Well, I'd like to say something about this, which is that I've searched the internet for a Velvet Dylan, and I can't find one, which is so interesting because Kilday saw it on the side of the road. He was literally driving like driving through Tennessee or something, and saw it and screeched to a halt and bought it. And then brought it and hung it at the grill. That's where it came from. Wow. And so I thought to myself, well, maybe there's got to be other ones,
No.
But you can't find one.
That's what I keep telling Vernon. Is even if if they say no, we don't want it, that sucks. He'd be able to sell a Velvet Dylan painting.
We'll if Vernon makes a Velvet Dylan painting, we'll hang it.
Yeah.
Our new money making.
Yes. Right there with selling duck eggs.
New industry.
Yes.
Unless it looks
so much
exactly
more than
like
$33.
unless it looks exactly like Jay with the Barbra Streisand afro. I always thought he really looked like Barbra Streisand in that painting.
Jay or Bob?
Bob.
So
Jay
give
looks like Barbra
us
Streisand
give
all
us
the time.
the pitch, the rundown, the little grill. It's open. What are the hours now, and where is it located for anybody who might be listening from
In Latvian.
Latvia or Waynesboro?
Well, if you have this thing called the internet, you can look it up. No, it's
Do not believe anything
It's
you read
the
on
north
there.
end of Harrisonburg, 621 North Main Street. Right now, we're open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
From 7
very cool.
a.m. to 2 p.m., except Sundays we don't open till 9. And then we're also open on Tuesday nights for the aforementioned all-you-can-eat Mexi night. But we do intend to fill that schedule out over the next couple of years and be open in the evenings. And
Hey.
I have to go. The man's here for my
Hello,
appointment.
everybody. Hi, bye.
are they kicking us out?
One of our favorites.
Oh, no, he's just a fan. Okay.
No,
Shout out to the Zapper.
he's here to fix my. Oh, never mind.
That's good. That's good.
Episode 19, that joke will make a lot more
Yeah, right.
sense.
Go to episode 19.
That was Mike.
That was Michael, yes.
So, as Ron was cut off, basically, grill's open 7 days a week.
Yep.
Go down there and get some breakfast. Get some dinner on Tuesday night. Sounds perfect. Are we out of time?
We're good. We have
Awesome.
made it through yet again another episode.
Thanks, kids. Remember, we're sponsored by Ruby's Arcade.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ruby.
Ruby.
And Clementine in downtown Harrisonburg. 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday night. Bingo is Life. The extravaganza. Live and in person.
Relentless.
It's relentless.
Relentless.
Thank you.
Come
Yeah.
down here and wave some bingo clouds and get a pie thrown in your face. And then anytime you want to, here in cyberspace, thanks to Tucker, the influencer dog who didn't bark even once the
once.
entire time. We'll see you next time on Bingo is Life, the podcast.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Bingo is Life, a post-bingo Harrisonburg podcast, is brought to you by the Brothers How to Show and our friends at Ruby's Arcade in downtown Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you've enjoyed the show and feel it's worth spreading a little joy in this world, please tell just one person that you like this podcast. Word of mouth, more than any other form of promotion, is how creative works get noticed and sustain themselves. Thank you, Andrew Hickey, for that bit of wisdom, and thank you, listeners, for being part of the fun.